Welcome back, you global rock fans. You have travelled to the halls of MPJ, where us little mortal souls will tell you what we think of the latest rock album, and then we'll tell you what we rate it out of 5 for our listening pleasure. Today's offering is The Hives and Forever. The Hives, Forever, Forever, The Hives. Now, this is not the first album we have reviewed for The Hives. The Death of Randy Fitzsimmons almost made it to our Hall of Fame. It got a 3.9. Will this be better? Will it not be better? Let's find out with our resident Hives expert, Paul.
Yeah, well, I was disappointed with Hives last time because I give it a 5. The album and the Death of Randy Fitzsimmons, and they followed up with the 7th album, as you pointed out, The Hives, Forever, Forever the Hives, which is also a song. So yeah, thankfully it's much of the same as with the blend of Scandinavian action rock and garage punk. Maybe it's not as fanatic or as fast paced as the previous album, but the Hives refuse to slow down or soft punch. If there's one band that's going to ruin your bad mood, then look no further. With a humorous wit and tour de force, if my knees hadn't crumbled away, I'd be pogoing to this all night.
Is that it? You're finishing off with, if your knees were put better, you'd be pogoing away.
I'd be pogoing away to this all night, but I can't. I'm just gonna
I love that.
headbang all the way in the car because they're one of my favourite bands to travel to when listening. Makes the miles go by very, very quickly.
So now, Lauren, I have a conjuring image of everybody pogoing to this on there. Did this album want you to do that as well? Get your pogo stick and bounce up and down?
Well, never been like massively on my radar, like in the way that if someone says to me like, oh, have you heard of the Hives, there isn't a single song that sort of pops into my head. So I sort of came into this quite fresh, because what I do is I always listen to the albums and then I will try and go back and listen to like some of the top bits of their catalogue just to see how it fares against what has worked really well for them. And for this, I genuinely think that it's going to start making its way onto my personal listens lists and stuff. I really enjoyed the pacing. I thought it celebrated what it did really well with like that Scandinavian rock sort of vibe and all that sort of thing. There was songs that had great hooks in it, and I love that in places there was hints of the collaborations they used on when they made this album when it was being produced, because doing my research, they've worked with Queens of the Stone Age, Beastie Boys, all that sort of thing during parts of this album. And then going back and listening to the album again, I'm like, oh, you can hear little hints of it, and it's really cool. One of my friends who is a massive Hives fan, I was like, why do you like the Hives? What do you enjoy about them? And they said it is just a really comforting thing. And the favourite phrase that they used whilst talking to me was, it's like getting the same person and dressing them in different outfits. And I was like, oh, okay. And they went, so each album, it has this core that is the same thing that runs through it, but each album's almost like a new outfit to put that person in. It's like, try this for style, try that. And that's what's really good, because whilst it lets you like dip your toes into these things that they're having a hint at its basis, it's still this really familiar thing that you can sit and enjoy. So yeah, in the vein of that, when they were like, oh, the catalogue is the same person in different clothes, I think it's a bloody good outfit, if you don't mind me. I think they're rocking it.
So, now, Chris, you probably have that. So, actually, before we go, Scandinavian, what do you and Paul mean by Scandinavian rock? I mean, I put that down as kind of more like power metal, hair metal, whatever. So, what does that mean?
Garage rock, garage punk with a Scandinavian twist on it.
Scandinavian twist. What's a Scandinavian twist?
Well, you can hear in his voice, this humour, the way they double sing and so forth.
Wow. Every day's a learning day, eh, Chris? What did you think?
So I seem to remember feeling the same when I was hearing the reviews for their previous album as well, because I think Lauren is probably right in that there is that core that they bring with them, and then they dress it up in slightly different ways each time. The problem is I'm not really a fan of that core. It's nice to listen to and everything. They make good music, but it just doesn't land for me. It doesn't ever get to the point where it's like if you say the Hives to me, I don't really have an image. I don't really have a standout song in my head or anything that I could really describe them as, other than, yeah, they're all right. I would listen, but I wouldn't be choosing to put it on, if you see what I mean. It would have to be someone else putting it on for me. I think there's a musical style, and I wouldn't attribute it to the same as what Paul and Lauren are saying around the Scandinavian twist to it. But there seems to be a musical style that the Hives have that doesn't quite sit well with me. So I don't enjoy listening to it when the Hives come on in the way that I do other albums. I can't. I've tried to think of ways to describe it in getting ready for this review. I can't put a finger on what it is that just unsettles me or sets me slightly off to one side of the Hives. But yeah, musically they're great, and if you like them, you're really going to like this album. It's just, for me, they've never really stuck the landing. It just doesn't work, and so it doesn't work for me and my listening pleasure.
Well, I'll tell you what does work for us, Chris. Shall I tell you what works for us?
Trish,
that's right. Trish, what do you think?
Thank you. So the cover of the album is very self-indulgent, as is the title. It's all about them, but they have the confidence and years of music and recognition to be able to do so. I've seen them live at a festival before now, and they certainly own the stage and command your attention. So would this album do the same for me? The first half didn't grab me until we got to track 6, OCDOD, and 7, Legalised Living, which pricked my ears up, and I was liking what I was hearing. Wasn't sure about the interlude or if it was needed, but it is what it is, because you were hit immediately afterwards with Roll Out the Red Carpet, an absolute stonking tune. All a rebel. In the music of this, I could hear undertones and striking similarities to Steve Miller's band's song Abracadabra. Listen to see if you hear the same as me. In no means a criticism, but made me smile. For me, a fantastic second half of the album, and showcases why they are the Hives forever. Solid punk rock.
So, a couple of first of all, a couple of positive things about the Hives. I pictured them writing let's write about this fictitious band that kind of have all these great things happening with them, and then somebody went, well, why don't we just do it about us? Because even though it is about the Hives, it's so tongue in cheek. It really is tongue in cheek. There's no egotistical, oh look, we're great type of in any of the lyrics. Really, it's just tongue in cheek, and it's done incredibly well. And that epitomizes is Rolled Out the Red Carpet, which just had me banging away. It was really good. And I'm almost kind of there with kind of Chris. I understand where Chris is coming from. When it first started, I go, oh, this is a bit cool. This is a little bit different. This is really good. And then about the 10th, 11th song, I go, I'm bored now. I don't want to listen to this anymore. To a degree, and so it doesn't land for repeatability for me and my musical taste either. It's like, I'm not a big fan of chocolate ice cream, despite I love chocolate. I'm not a fan of chocolate ice cream. But the first couple of scoops of chocolate ice cream, I go, oh, yes. And then I go, oh, nah, maybe not. I kind of don't want that anymore. And that's kind of how I feel with punk rock. And this is very much in that kind of new garage punk rock kind of scene, where I don't mind a little bit of it. I don't mind a little bit more of it, but I don't really, really want to listen to a whole album of it, because just for my musical kind of listening pleasure, if you like. But this was solid. This was good. It was quite listenable too. There's some really good tracks. I love the tongue-in-cheek "It's the Hives Forever" because I know at one point that I believed that they were on an ego trip ride because of it. I just didn't. And maybe it was, but I didn't get that impression. So yeah, solid. Okay. Let's find out, is it solid enough to finally get them into the Hall of Fame? Is it solid enough to get that magical 4? Let's find out then, shall we? Paul, have I left anybody out? I don't think so. So we'll start the voting, shall we? Over to you, mate.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 4.5.
4.5. Ooh, pretty solid.
Which is a bit worrying. Because if it started with me, it's only going to get worse from here on.
So Lauren, what did you give it?
Gave it a 4.
Pretty solid. Chris?
I give it a 2.5.
Trish?
I gave it a 3.5.
So did I, Trish. I give it a 3.5, which just leaves Andy Dicker. Well, like, if Andy has given this, if Andy gives this a 5, okay, then it's going to get, or even a 4.5. If he gets a 4.5 or 5, it's gonna get into the Hall of Fame, right? So, but we all know Andy, okay, and Andy Dicker give the Hives a 5.
Wow.
No, even Paul is shocked by that. Andy Dicker loves the Hives. Straight up.
And I love Andy Dicker.
I wish he was here. Absolutely. So we drop poor Chris's 2.5, and so he can cleanse his palate, which gives this album a 4.1. The Hives have got in. Paul, are you happy? Paul, are you happy? The Hives are in the Hall of Fame, brother. You're happy?
Yes, I am happy. I am. Sorry, I've been
hounded by Log the Dog.
I am. Yeah.
Right. So, what a fantastic score. Well done, the Hives. It could make might see it. It wouldn't be enough to get an automatic place into the album of the year. But it might be at somebody's wild card. Might be Andy Dicker's wild card. Who knows? Might even be Paul's wild card. Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out. In the meantime, you globe rocking trotters, leave your comments below. Hit the like and subscribe button and tune us back in for the next episode. Keep on rocking.